Developing tonight, the United States is now sending 5,000 troops to Afghanistan as the Taliban captures another major city, the latest in a series of major advances in just the past 48 hours. Western nations are scrambling to evacuate their citizens from Kabul with growing fears that the Taliban could soon overrun the capital and the entire country. The area in red on your screen showing just how much ground the terrorist group has gained since April. It's coming less than 3 weeks before the U.S. plans to fully withdraw troops from Afghanistan after a 2 decades-long war, drawing a new response tonight from the White House. NewsNation's Felicia Bolton joins us now in studio. And Felicia, this situation is changing by the hour.
Yeah, absolutely, Rudabeh. And the White House originally planned on only sending 3,000 troops to protect the embassy and to help get Americans out of that country. But as the Taliban continues to gain more territory, they're sending 1,000 more, bringing the total in the country to about 5,000. So far, Taliban fighters control about 20 of Afghanistan's 34 provinces. And many U.S. soldiers who served in the war on terror are talking about the latest insurgent, and the removal of troops is affecting them greatly.
The rush to remove U.S. troops has led to a Taliban takeover. After a multi-pronged attack, the Taliban now hold half of Afghanistan's 34 provincial capitals. One bulk lawmaker says the province's National Army Corps surrendered first, which prompted the pro-government militants and other forces to give up.
Business continues as normal, and people are happy with us, and with our services, they will be happier.
The Taliban takeover happened after President Biden ordered for the complete withdrawal of American troops in Afghanistan by August 31st. Thousands of contractors and NATO troops followed suit. In a statement, the president says, in part, quote, "Our country's 20 years at war in Afghanistan invested nearly $1 trillion, trained over 300,000 Afghan soldiers and police. U.S. military presence would not have made a difference if the Afghan military cannot or will not hold its own country."
It's incredibly difficult to see what's happening across all the Afghan provinces.
Dan Blakely is the co-author of The 20-Year War and a former Army Ranger who served 3 tours in Afghanistan.
I'm a little fearful that Afghanistan is going to turn into a militarized state.
He lost 11 friends to war. Although the Biden administration is pulling troops, he believes veterans' sacrifices in Afghanistan were not made in vain.
It feels like it's for nothing. But again, I go back to it's not. It's not for nothing. Even if one person in Afghanistan felt the safety and security just for a few days, weeks, months, years, whatever it is, it's something they didn't have prior to us being there.
And America went to Afghanistan 20 years ago to defeat the forces that attacked this country on September 11th. Tonight, President Biden says U.S. leaders have told the Taliban that any action on their part that puts U.S. personnel or our mission at risk there will be met with swift and strong U.S. military response.
And Felicia, the Biden administration is the 4th administration, the 4th U.S. president to oversee this war, but the withdrawal actually started before he took office.
Yeah, that's right, Rudabeh. President Trump made a deal with the Taliban to remove all U.S. troops by May of this year and withdrew most U.S. forces from the country before he left office. There was only about 2,500 service members left. Biden says he chose to follow through on that deal, but extended the deadline to this month in hopes of a smoother transition. But that does not seem to be much help as this conflict continues to brew tonight. Rudabeh.